Welcome, children. Shall we continue the lesson? Yes. You know, lakhs of farmers, they committed suicide in our country. Why? The reason is maybe crop failure, maybe the calamity, maybe the calamity of the weather problem or the monsoon failed. Some reason crop failed because of the bankruptcy, or they couldn't repay the money what they have taken from local lenders. Such like reason. What happens? The government that shows pity on these farmers. Even the people, they also feel so bad of their pathetic condition of reaching that position of committing suicide. But the devastating trend of this crop failure, what may be there? And moreover, we think of the farmers, but we never think of the families of these farmers, especially in Andhra Pradesh, Guntur village, many farmer suicide cases appear, especially in Andhra Pradesh. This Guntur area, it's a little bit backward area where the people over there are not well educated. The main problem for this farmer suicide case is, you may not believe, the globalization. Earlier, before this globalization, these farmers were growing crops and preserving the seeds for the next crop, using that seed. They were growing well, they were leading a happy and contented life. They were satisfied. They were satisfying whatever they had. But this globalization allowed the multinational companies to enter into the world market, and these foreign countries, they offered seeds for these farmers in a very cheap rate. The offer that they are going to purchase whatever crop they grow from those seeds. Money, it has that attraction, and this farmer also thought of being millionaires with a very short spell of time by growing those crops. You might have been heard or observed, many people, they cleared their areca farms, they cleared their coconut farms and started to grow rubber or mangium trees or cotton crops, etc. Okay, fine. Making money is not wrong. But did they succeed? These MNCs, multinational companies, which provided seeds for these farmers. They provided seeds, the farmers grew the crops from that, let it be cotton crops, but the seeds which they get in those cotton pots were not used, they couldn't use for next year because they won't get sufficient healthy plants from those seeds. Okay, fine. Once planted, it's enough for many years. If crop failed, what could be done? Alternate source is not there because they cleared the land for these commercial crops. And moreover, these cotton plants which grow from these NMC sold seeds were lasting for 3 to 4 years, whereas the cotton plants or trees which grow of local variety, they were lasting for 15 to 20 years. So they didn't bother because anyhow compared to these local varieties, they get sufficient money, sufficient income from this, and from today to tomorrow they will become millionaires. Such like thoughts entered. And especially in these remote areas, especially few years before, not at present, women are not allowed to get education. They're meant to work inside the four walls of the house, whereas their voice shouldn't be heard outside. They had to suffer with silence with whatever they experience. If they are happy, they are not supposed to enjoy their happiness. If they are sad, they are not supposed to express their sorrow outside. Such is now also, at present also, the condition of women in some rural areas. These Andhra Pradesh farmers which committed suicide, most of the family women, they are not educated one. They were under the thumb of these farmers only. These farmers, they work the whole day in their farms. As cotton crop was introduced, they need not work the whole day in the farm. So they get sufficient free time. They used to indulge in some other activities. They started to have fun, drinking, such habits they developed. And when they return home, the wives or mothers or the ladies, they are not supposed to question them. They had no right at all. This is the pathetic condition of a family. And children will grow. How to grow? What is the way to make the children to reach their adult stage? Could be is decided by the father, never the mother. They never had much reasonable thoughts, much foresight, and totally the children grew up. Such is the pathetic condition of the farmer's family. Here, a farmer's wife, she expresses her view, her thoughts after the death of a farmer in her own words. What does it mean that in her own words? In her own words means she expresses the words in such a way that it never reaches the ear of the listener or the reader. It directly reaches the heart of the listener. In that way she reaches. Sadly, ironically, pathetically, she explained the condition of a farmer's wife when the farmer commits suicide. I'll read the poem once. You are virtuous and you are gone, poor sinner that I remain before your creditors, unable to bend your head or stretch your hand or sell your crops, you crossed over. But I was born with the head bent, a hand outstretched, not unused to being sold. Knowing all this, did you leave me? You found release with poison, poisoning my bitter existence. The cotton crop is but yesterday's, but our family. How often have I drowned in it? How many times have I escaped death? Whether you abused or reviled me, kicked me when you were drunk. I thought he is but a man. Little did I dream you would deal me a death blow like this. Who do you... True, the crop was gone, the debt remained. Our dignity hit in dust. Our hearts turned to water. But how did you imagine my back would bear the burden of 4 children? You saw your crop destroyed. What of the harvest of my womb? Can I leave them to the wind like worm-eaten cotton pods? It takes me a moment to die. It takes a moment to die. But open your mouth and ask, what of this? Why is this? Needs a firm heart to teach my children to clench a fist, not merely for a handful of rice, but in battle I must live. I must embrace life, not death. Embrace life and struggle for life. So, Chivuni Kadu Badukani. Not death, but life is the original poem. Madhavi, it's an epical story. Madhavi is the daughter of the king Yayati in her epics. And she was very, very beautiful. Extraordinarily beautiful. This is related to this condition of this woman. Once, a disciple of Kaushika came to King Yayati's court. Yayati is so generous. He asked, what do you want? I am ready to give. But before coming here, the disciple, after completing his education, asked with his guru what he had to give as Guru Dakshina. He told it's okay, no need of giving any Guru Dakshina. You use your education well and be good for yourself and for others and for your family and relatives and friends and also for the society, and teach whatever learned for your disciples. But the disciple was not happy to go away without giving anything for the Guru. He urged him to ask something. The Guru was furious. He told, I want 1,000 horses which have one ear black, other ear white. White horses with only one ear black. My goodness, wait to such. That's also not one. He agreed and went away. When he searched for the source to get those horses, he heard that Yayati had some horses like that. So he came to the court of Yayati. When Yayati told him to ask anything, whatever he want, he told that he is expecting 1,000 white horses with one black ear, as he has to give so much to his Guru. Yayati sent his people to his shed, but there were only 200 horses. But he already promised this sage that he'll give whatever he asked. Tongue is one. No? What to do? He told his helplessness of not being able to fulfill his demand. What to do? Instead, what to do? What to give you? He asked. So Madhavi, Yayati's daughter, was standing there. A crooked idea entered into the disciple's mind, and he told, give me your daughter. Yayati, duty bound and not duty bound, as he was tied with the promise, whatever he gave, he agreed. And no, he didn't ask with Madhavi, he didn't ask with his wife, he agreed to give Madhavi to this sage. And he sent Madhavi with this sage. This sage, he didn't marry Madhavi. He took her to another king, where he heard that he had some horses like that, white horses with one black ear. There he went, and the casual wordings exchanged. And the king asked his demand. And moreover, before asking, the king asked whether he'll give this lady for him, this beautiful princess for him for 1 year. Instead, he'll give 200 horses. 200 already he booked with Yayati and 200 horses here. He agreed to leave this Princess Madhavi with that king for 1 year in turn of 200 white horses with 1 black ear. The disciple sage went off and Madhavi was allowed to live with that king. Extraordinarily beautiful she was. She got a child. When the child was nearing 2 months, the sage came back because it was 1 year. With his tapashakti, he blessed her to be young and energetic, virgin, although she spent 1 year with the king. The king, 1 year he enjoyed with her and allowed her to go with the sage, and also he gave 200 horses. The sage told that to keep those horses there and he'll come whenever he need the horses. Again he took her to another king where he also had 200 horses. Without consulting Madhavi, he allowed Madhavi with him for 1 year. Again she got a child there. When the child reached 2.5 months, again the sage came, took her back, blessed her to be a virgin, and same thing repeated. The last king, that means Yayati's 200, first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Fourth king, after completing 1 year, he took Madhavi and his 200 horses and collected these 200 horses each from every one and reached Yayati. 800 he already collected. There he told Yayati to give 200 horses. Yayati gave and totally it was 1000 and he returned Madhavi to Yayati. Yayati told, "Why? I already gave her to you. What can I do with her? And moreover, I can't keep her with me because she spent with different kings for 4 years. It's a question of my prestige," told her father. He blessed her to be a virgin, but Madhavi did not tell anything. Nobody asked with her and she had no right to answer or to discuss. You take her with you. He took these 1000 horses and this Madhavi to his guru and gave these horses to him. And also Madhavi, "I don't want this lady. Why? I am a sage," said the guru, Kaushika. "But what could be done? I also don't want." Madhavi now opened her mouth. "You are responsible for my life. You had to marry me because my father gave my hands with you. So you had to marry me," she told. "Give me a life," she told. But this disciple of Kaushika, he did not agree for that. "You already spent 4 years with different kings and you have 4 children also. How can I accept you as my wife?" she told. Madhavi was so furious. She told, "Did you remember this now? While allowing me to spend years after year to different kings, you could have been thought my future. You didn't. Now you just sold me for 200 horses just because my father gave me for you. So now, what could be done? That's your will and wish. You go wherever you want," said. She made a funeral, jumped it and burned herself, suicided. That is different. This is how even the condition of women from right beginning of the universe. Of course, Maitreyi, Lopamudra, like great scholars were also there. And even Sri Rama's wife Sita also, she was also under the thumb of the society. She also did Agni Pravesha, right? So the condition of the women, that depends upon their inner strength. Their inner strength, and not only inner strength, how they use it. Okay. Now, she says with her dead husband, the suicided husband, more than dead husband, it's better to use the word suicided husband. You are virtuous and you are gone, poor sinner that I am remain before your creditors. You are virtuous, normally. This is saying in Canada, Satta emmege hattu kutti halu. That means the buffalo, which already dead, it was giving extraordinary milk. We used to say, normally we won't comment, we won't do negative comment about the people who passed away or about the things which expired. So here, you are virtuous, very good, morally and physically and extraordinary you are virtuous. And you are gone. My goodness, you are gone. You are virtuous. You are gone because of that you are virtuous. Ironically, she uses the word virtuous here. Poor sinner that I am remain. I am the sinner. I did that sin of marrying you. She didn't tell it openly. I am the sinner. I remained here before your creditors. Your means husband, the farmer. Before your creditors. Creditor means the people who gave loans. Who gave loans. So those people who gave you loans, they'll question me, not you. I didn't take the money. I didn't take any loan from anybody. Still, after your death, they are going to ask me. I am standing alone here in front of your creditors. Unable to bend your head or stretch out your hand or sell your crops, you crossed over. How you passed away? Unable to bend your head. So, you thought that you have your own power and prestige in the society. You are not ready to bend your head, to surrender yourself in front of your creditors. Stretch out your hand for help. You are not supposed to, you are not ready to ask help with anybody for your pathetic condition of losing the crop. Financial problem. Stretch out your hand. Stretch out means helpless situation. Or sell your crops. You can't sell your crops also. Why? The crops were rotten, worm-eaten cotton pods. If you sell also, you won't get money for that. So, you crossed over. Crossed over means crossed the life's limit. Passed away. But I was born with the head bent. Normally, in these remote areas where education is much less, this is saying, my cousin delivered a baby. Which baby? Male or female? Male baby. Huh? Male baby? Wow! Female baby. Female baby? Shah. Such is the expression of the people. But if your cow or buffalo is a young one, calf, which calf? Male or female? Female calf. Wow! Male. Male? My goodness. Previous one also male. Such is the expression because we get benefit from that. So, normally the trend of the society is like that. Nowadays, no. Don't apply to your own life or your own family. It's not the present situation. It is not the present situation. Years before, many years, decades before. But I was born with the head bent. People used to tell that I am a girl baby. When I born also, a girl baby was born with the head bent only, surrendering myself. Economically also I had to depend somebody. Physically also I had to depend somebody. Morally also I had to depend somebody. In all aspects I am a dependent. So I born with the head bent and hand outstretched. Helpless condition. I was restricted inside the four walls of the house, even being a girl baby, not allowed to the society to develop my intrinsic ability. Not unused to being sold. That means I'm used to being sold, like Madhavi. That's why I told that story of Madhavi. Not unused means double negative, used to being sold. Knowing all this, did you leave me? You know my condition. You know how society treats women. You know how I am. You know how I born, how I brought up, and how I lead my life in your family. Knowing all this, did you leave me alone here in this world? She asks. You found release with poison, poisoning my bitter existence. You found release with poison. You drank some poison and passed away. Okay, fine. I don't say anything because that is your decision. You found release with poison. Release from what? Release from your creditors. Release from this helpless situation. Release from the financial problem. You found release. Hey, having some poison and living your life. But you poisoned my bitter existence. My existence itself has become very bitter because of your death. You poisoned my bitter existence. The cotton crop is but yesterday's, but our family crop failed. Okay, fine. Today or tomorrow we will get a better life. But our family, we can't leave our family like worm-eaten cotton pods. It's not so. We had to support them. That is our responsibility. As it is our responsibility, how can we leave this family barren without considering them? Right? I'll continue in the next class.